Yo, BJ Gaddour with the Daily BJ. This is workout 4. Here are the movements. We'll start with the back plank. Now, this one is a very challenging movement, basically a reverse plank, where the front plank works more of the anterior chain, core musculature. This is going to be the entire posterior chain backside. So I'll show what I'd like you to be able to do, and then I'll show modifications. We're going to get the legs straight. We're going to get the elbows underneath the shoulders. Really gets the posterior shoulder here, which is great because we're not using, rows or pull-ups. We don't have access to those types of equipment on equipment-free workouts, but there's still a way to get that musculature work so we don't let it lag. All right, so what I'm going to do is focus on lifting through the heels, squeezing the glutes, head in line with spine, and driving the forearms into the ground. And I'm going to hold that for a minute. Back plank, keep the abs tight, glutes engaged. If that's too challenging, just come on your shoulders. And it's a harder movement to kind of see because you're not going to get that far off the ground. It's a small range of motion movement, but all you do is just lift up and hold. Squeeze the glutes. So you take kind of the shoulders out of it. It's a little bit, it's still very challenging for the glutes and hamstrings. You're going to get some lower back stabilization and abs engaged as well. If that's still too challenging, you can back off to just a classic bent knee glute bridge. But work up to the back plank if you can. You can always back off. If you only hold the back plank for 30 seconds, go to just the shoulder version. You can back off even further to just the glute bridge. So you've got options with that. Side plank, lateral leg raise. This is kind of a dual upper body core movement and lower body movement. This is working the lateral hip musculature, which is very important to develop that peach, clumping the peach, smoking the ass, and also stabilizing your knees because weak hips tend to mean unstable knees, not good. So we get locked in here, elbow underneath the shoulder, fist aligned with the elbow. Think about leaning back against an imaginary wall, head in line with spine, abs crunch, rib shoulders down. And what I'm gonna do from there, focus on keeping that toe down. I'm just gonna raise, reset. So that's how you start. The progression is, it's constant tension for constant burn. Ooh. Woo. And just light up those hips. By the way, you're working both hips, bottom and top, but really getting that glute minimus, medius, lateral hip musculature with that straight leg. And again, lots of oblique and core. It's a really fun one that, again, it just looks super easy, kind of like you're a centerfold, but it's serious work. So we'll do both sides on that. From there, we're going piked shoulder taps. I'll show a modification. Elevate your feet on a stable box bench, chair, ottoman. You're gonna use the same bench for your Bulgarian split squats as well. So very challenging movement. It kind of allows you to access a handstand without the stabilization demands that have your feet in the air or just the risk of falling. So what I'm gonna do is get a really wide stance. You want it wide enough so you can get super wide for stability purposes. And all I'm gonna do is nice and slow. Heads in line with the hips. I'm gonna touch, touch. The weight will shift a bit from foot to foot. Don't worry about that as much. But you're really working the shoulder musculature on this. All right, if that's too hard or like 30 seconds in, you can't do any more like that, you can do this instead. Just a feet elevated plank shoulder taps, much easier to access. And for those that just don't like being inverted, who does, okay? You can just do that and still get a great workout. Final movement, Bulgarian toe squats. You'll do each side. Now, these kind of, in a lot of ways throw out what a lot of people will tell you. There are very few bad movements, just might not be the right move for you at this time. So Bulgarian toe squats could put more stress on the knees. If you're not ready for it, you can just do the foot flat version, which I'll show. But this is also a way to kind of create more of an instability challenge and get the calves engaged and get more lower quad stress. It just makes a body movement, again, feel heavier and more challenging. It's a great mix-up. Let me show the first option. So on my split squats, I always like to start at the bottom. The further you are away, the easier it is on the knees, the more glute, the closer to the foot, the more quad. And again, as long as the knee can go forward, as long as the foot remains flat and you feel no pain. Just gonna get more quad stress. So this is the regular version. Again, pull the ribs in and shoulders down, crunch the abs. You go up balancing a glass of water in your head, and you just stand up and come down. Stand up and come down. About 80 to 90% of the weight is in that lead leg. That back leg is just getting stretched and helping us stabilize, be able to stay in constant motion. And you can do more reset reps, full range. You want more stress, just don't go all the way up. Stop right there and keep constant tension on the muscles. And then the one I would like you to try if you're up for it is the toes. So you get on the balls of the feet, drive the toes into the ground, hold that position and lower, and that knee's gonna go pretty far forward, but man, you'll really feel this in the lower quad. It's also like very functional athletic position. It's like basically kind of mimicking that sprinter start position coming off the blocks. They're triple bends, ankles, knees, hips, and they're just driving off of that pattern, okay? So try it if you can. If it's too hard, just do foot on floor. Poppy loves you, bye.